Hey everyone, John from Nintendo Life here, and our favourite thing to do on this channel is not talk about games. It's not review games, it's to discuss renders. And here with me today is Alex Olney. Could that possibly mean there's not one, but two Waluigi renders to talk about here?
Yes. I was tempted to do that in a Waluigi voice, and I realised I'm probably going to get it wrong.
It's a hard one to get right when you're not just wearing. Yeah, Nintendo revealed two different Waluigi renders lately, and these are worth talking about. So, the very first one came out of nowhere. So they were doing an unboxing for the blue Nintendo Switch Lite, and with a quick cut came this Waluigi render that we've never seen before. And he's so curvy. Yeah,
it's a little bit worrying, just how arguably provocative this pose is. And whilst before, we talked about the Diddy Kong render and you guys seem to have fun with that, it was an update of an old render, whilst this, I can say with absolute certainty, this render has never existed prior. This curvaceous form, these knocked knees, that tongue has not been rendered prior.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen Waluigi's tongue in a render before. Every Nintendo character is either smiling, showing their teeth, or just kind of looking a bit menacing at the camera. I don't think we've ever seen their tongue.
No, I mean, maybe if he had his mouth open and it's just like, it's present, but here it's a feature.
And the question is, what was this? Maybe they just have a batch of renders and poses they haven't used before, but they just put this in a random Nintendo video. To me, the lighting, the textures, the little shiny shoes and shiny buttons, they're very similar to how he appears in Super Mario Party. So I've got to imagine it's either for the sequel or an unused render from there. But what do you think this is?
Honestly, I hope it's the new Waluigi dating sim that we've all been clamoring for some time now.
That would explain the curves.
Yes, indeed. I imagine it's probably going to be Mario Party. I mean, if it weren't for what's about to come up next, I would have assumed it was Mario Golf, and I've given it away what the other render is.
Oh no.
But no, this very much looks like it's I was about to say a generic Waluigi render, and it is, but at the same time, somebody somewhere is, I think, maybe aware of the memicity of Waluigi in the art team and has tried to capture that as best they can, and they have gone above and beyond, frankly.
People are thirsty for this Waluigi. I've seen people...
I did not need to hear that phrase. I did not need to hear it.
They need to be quenched, Alex. I'm seeing so many people are just... They're all for this pose, and they've somehow made Waluigi even more sexy, if that's possible.
It's too early, John. It's too early to have this conversation.
Was his nose always that shiny?
No, I think he's healthier than before. Waluigi,
he's healthier, he's
famously
happier.
having a similar sort of anatomy to a dog.
Well, we can come back to this one in a bit, but let's just go on to the next render, being the Mario Golf Super Rush render. So we've not seen Waluigi in this game yet. We've seen Mario, we've seen Luigi, we've seen Peach, I think we saw Donkey Kong and Bowser, and a lot of these characters in this game have their own outfits, and Waluigi had his own outfit in Mario Tennis Aces too, but good lord, is this one dapper?
Yeah, I mean, he's a gangster. Like, he's got the trilby. I don't know if it's a trilby or a fedora. I think it's a trilby. Anyway, that's really not important. But he's got like the waistcoat and the long sleeves. It's the sort of outfit that I could imagine Waluigi in, but never would have actually sort of like imagined myself. It just fits him so well. He looks so like a gangster, and even with like the golf club over his shoulder and everything, it's a menacing pose. It's intimidating and still sexy.
I'm not sure we've seen Waluigi's hand before. And I noticed this with the Wario render too.
No!
Is they've taken their gloves off.
No! John, what have you done?
So now we know. Now we know he has 4 fingers and a thumb. Presumably there's a thumb. He's hiding the thumb.
He's ashamed of his thumb. Good shoes as well. I like how they've managed to keep the same shape, but they're definitely golf shoes. I mean, look at those spiky bits. That's the technical term for the things on the bottom of golf shoes.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
I love the rose too. Like, there's one common trait between these two renders. Is Waluigi had a rose in the first one, and he's taken that rose and he's put it on his hat.
I can't even remember where that started. I know Waluigi has had a rose as part of his as kind of his character design for a long, long time, but I genuinely can't remember where it started.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think I remember his Tennis Aces Ultra move had a rose in there. I think he spins around and throws it, but I don't know where else that came from.
I think he had a rose in an earlier Mario Golf game as well, but
maybe
it was the Mario dancing game where Waluigi was the main villain.
Yeah,
that's genuinely not something we've made up, if that sounds like it.
The GameCube era was a different time.
It was. I miss it in a strange way, but at the same time, we've now got this render of Waluigi.
Yeah, I love that we're here. The Nintendo have always been really safe about how they present Mario characters. I love it in Tennis Aces and Golf Super Rush that they're allowing them to actually be in sports gear, and they look so good.
Yeah, it's just refreshing to see them in anything else, because as you say, they played it so safe, and I suppose they were doing that with the thingy, the Mario Odyssey. I'd forgotten the name of it for a moment. They did that with Mario Odyssey. Mario in loads of different outfits, and it works.
I'm just counting how many R's are on Waluigi right now. So he has 2 R's on his...
It's not an R, though, is it?
What would you... I guess like a backwards L, yeah.
Well, upside down L.
So he's got them on his shoes, he's got one on his belt, and then one on his hat. So he really wants you to know that he is Waluigi.
When I was younger, I remember getting annoyed and thinking, well, he's got an R on his hat, because I thought the same thing. When I mean very young, and when I didn't like Waluigi, a crazy pasto time. And I remember thinking, no, he should be called Ruigi. And at the time, I didn't realize the sort of the reason that couldn't happen as a Japanese created character, although he technically wasn't Japanese created, but So, yeah, there's a fun little fact for you. I was an idiot when I was younger.
We all had our moments of doubting Waluigi, but here we are now.
Look at his glove. It's a good glove.
It's a very good glove. I can't stop looking at his bare hand, though, but it is a nice glove.
I don't know. I think it's just the lighting, but there's something odd about that hand. The fingers look really short. Like they look really short.
So out of these 2 renders, which is your favorite? As a render connoisseur, which is your favorite?
Oh my god. I mean, you're asking me to compare, the Venus de Milo and the Mona Lisa, They're 2 masterpieces, but for different reasons. You've got the Mario Golf one where he's got this swanky new outfit, he's got that menacing pose. It's the 2 sides of Waluigi. You can't compare them. You've got the lover and the fighter.
Yeah, we can't have one without the other. This is not what I was expecting to do today, but man,
no, I know. I didn't plan on doing this today either. If you had to pick one part of either of these renders, one part of Waluigi to take home with you, what would it be?
Okay, so I'm looking at 2 different things here. So I love both of these, but I'm drawn to the first one because there's so much going on in there, and there's just such a curve. There's just such a curve below his elbow. I don't want to say exactly where it is, but my eyes cannot look away from it. So I think I'll take that home with me.
He's gonna end up with lower back problems, isn't he? Like serious lower back problems. Oh lordy, they're 2 damn good renders though. I genuinely really like them both.
He takes very good care of his shoes too. His shoes are so shiny in the first render.
And his hat. I mean, his hat in the in the Mario Golf one. The texture on that is just... I can almost feel it just by looking at it.
I love that they do this kind of thing. Like they take these very cartoony characters, but they do fill them with detail. Like in both of these, their hair is actually... It looks like it's not quite rendered, but it's very textured compared to what it used to be. Like if you look at like a Mario Party 5 render, it's just flat. It's just a flat texture. But now you can see sort of hairs coming out.
And I've just noticed on the Mario Golf one as well, especially, you can see a fine texture on his nose.
Oh, you can. They're very different art styles, actually. Like the first one is just... It's almost like a fake party nose that you put on, just like something like what Bart wore when he superglued that thing onto his face. But in the Golf one, it looks like an actual... Well, I don't say an actual nose, but it definitely looks a lot more textured than like a prop of the first one.
Yeah, it's as though, I mean, it still looks like a fake nose. Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
And also his eyebrows. His eyebrows have... They have some shadow on them on both, but it's much more defined in the Mario Golf one.
I don't think I realized how like crazy his eyebrows were. Like usually his hat kind of masks the giant curves of his eyebrows, but we can see them on full display in both of these.
He honestly, look, those eyebrows, I think, are an option in the Mii creator.
Oh, are they?
I think so, yeah, or at least something very, very close to them. They're very familiar, and I've been playing, the Miitopia demo, faffing around with all the different eyebrows and then only learning shortly afterwards that you can hide them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in there. So a Waluigi Mii, that's the next thing I'm going to make.
Well, I think it's safe to say we're in the golden age of Waluigi right now. We were given 2 amazing renders in the span of a day or 2, and we don't know what the first one's for still, so perhaps there is a Waluigi dating sim on the horizon. We don't quite know. E3's in a month. But these still look incredible, and I love just how much flavor they're giving their characters.
Oh my god, can you imagine if they accidentally use this render and it's from Smash?
Oh god. You know what, this looks like it could be an amiibo pose, to be honest. Like, his feet are very grounded, so I wouldn't be... I mean, I don't expect it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh god, or they did it intentionally, they're just like, no one's gonna believe it. No one's gonna think that this is for Smash Bros, and it turns out it's for Smash.
I don't think it, like, the lighting and textures don't scream Smash to me, but yeah, for all we know, maybe it is. Maybe they've tried to catch us off guard, and they've played a good game here.
When it happens, because it will, it probably won't, but when it happens, I'd really like this golf as an alt. It's fantastic.
That should be the primary.
I think I want that outfit. I think that's the thing. I mean, the hat is maybe a bit much for me personally, but if I could look like that, I'd be scoring all the chicks, as the cool people say.
So, what do you all think of these Waluigi renders? Which is your favourite? What's your favourite part of him that you'd like to take home with you? Let us know in the comments, and look at that subscribe button and give it a lovely hat and dress it up all nicely, but also give it a curvy side. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Waluigi, subscribe to Nintendo Live.